we begin this morning with Congressman Andy Barr jumping into the race for Senator Mitch McConnell's seat. Barr says he believes Kentucky needs a strong conservative America First senator and wants to prove to the Commonwealth that he's that person for the job. Barr, who has held Kentucky's 6th district congressional seat since 2013, believes his track record in Congress not only positions him to perform well in the primary, but also to build the name recognition he needs to take on the race.
I know you. I know what Kentuckians care about. I know your dreams, your hopes, your aspirations, and yes, I know some of your frustrations as well. And I know for you, this is not about winning elections. This is about saving our country.
For now, the GOP competition builds between him and former Attorney General Daniel Cameron, whose campaign said in a statement, quote, "Kentucky deserves real America First leadership, not a liberal sellout." So far, only State Representative Pamela Stevenson is in the race on the Democratic side. So Representative Dotson, I actually want to start with you here because this announcement also creates an opening in the 6th district, which you've announced a campaign for. We'll get to that in a second, but let's talk about this particular race. I saw you at that announcement party.
Yes.
What are some opportunities and weaknesses you see for Congressman Barr as he goes into this race?
I think Congressman Barr has a huge opportunity. He campaigns very well. He's a great fundraiser, and just knowing his work ethic, I think it bodes very well for him going for the Senate race. And we know that both Daniel Cameron and both Andy Barr have done tremendous jobs in their positions that they were elected in. So it's going to be a highly contested race, and we look forward to it.
Representative, more opportunities and weaknesses you see with the candidate?
With Congressman Barr, I think that he has built himself a strong reputation for working with a lot of the financial institutions, and by that I mean he's voted for increasing bank fees, and he voted against the PACT Act, which many veterans like myself who went to Iraq and Afghanistan really rely on for adequate health care. I think about government should be, of the people, by the people, for the people. I worry that Andy Barr, the way he's been cozying up to Elon Musk, the way he's been cozying up to President Trump, he's going to be someone who is a government of the billionaires, by the billionaires, for the billionaires, and that's not for Kentucky.
As these two primary candidates stack up, Daniel Cameron and Andy Barr, how would the two of you define the two from each other? What makes them stand out?
For me, just knowing Andy personally and having a deeper relationship with him, knowing how hard he works. He's got a huge work ethic, and his constituency service is phenomenal. So, and he's already been a part of the Congress. He's already been to Washington, D.C., so he has a leg up in that aspect. So, but Daniel Cameron is well-known statewide, so that empowers him to a certain degree. So we're a year out from a primary, so there's going to be a lot of things going back and forth. So it's going to be very interesting how things stack up.
And I really agree with what Rep. Dotson just had to say as far as him knowing the turf and the lay of the land in D.C., that being Congressman Barr. And also being a proven winner. He has won what has been a relatively purple district for a certain amount of time, the 6th Congressional District, when he took that, when he flipped that seat back in the last decade. And at the same time, you already mentioned that Daniel Cameron is known statewide for having been the Attorney General and then running for governor, but he's also known to have lost with a Trump endorsement, and so that might actually turn some people off from him as maybe isn't the proven winner that Congressman Barr is.
Well, you mentioned the politically purpley 6th district, so let's transition a bit to that conversation and bring this back to you, Representative Dotson. You made some news this week announcing the launch of your campaign. Just why are you getting in the race?
Well, it's not as purple as it used to be. As a matter of fact, Andy Barr won this district handily with 72% of the vote. Donald Trump won this district with 57% of the vote. So it's not as purple as it used to be. It's more red. So with me stepping in, I wanted to step in early. I knew that I was running from a behind position with name ID and things of that nature. So I wanted to get out early and just be out here pursuing opportunities and fundraising. That's going to be a big thing for our campaign. So we wanted to get out early enough to be able to pursue these opportunities, and I think that going forward with the things that I've accomplished in Frankfort and the fight that I've taken to Frankfort, I can really win people over with the fight that I'll take to Washington, D.C.
Representative, more Democrats have targeted this particular district as a possible flip going into next year, and you yourself have some experience flipping a district in your most recent campaign. So how are Democrats feeling about the 6th district race?
I think we know that next November is a long way away, and a lot can change between now and then. We've already seen a lot of Americans, especially independents, have really soured on the president with the tariff plan. People are afraid of cuts to Medicaid and closing rural hospitals. Is Social Security on the chopping block? Is Medicare on the chopping block? There's a lot of unknowns, and over the next 18 months between now and next November, if D.C. and the current administration has a terrible reputation because Kentuckians are losing necessary services, that could bode poorly for any Republican on the ballot. Regardless if you're running a great campaign, we just know that's the reality of politics, and that gives a good, strong Democratic candidate a real chance in this.
Well, we got a little bit less than a minute here, y'all. So as I wrap up this conversation with you, do you see these two races as they sort of get going and we move into 2026? Do you think there will be some distinct issues between those two races that are separate, or you see there's a possibility that there's some issues in messaging that could combine between those two races further down the trail?
I think there's more that will combine them and tie them together. So again, it's just going to be preferential differences among the people and how they get their message across. That's going to really make the difference in this campaign.
And I think the Senate campaign is going to have to focus a lot more on the rural parts of our state, especially like those rural hospitals, if we do see implications with Medicaid. The 6th Congressional District around the Lexington area is a certain number of counties, and it's one of the smaller geographically congressional districts. Whoever's running for Senate, they're going to have to go across all 120 counties, and that will open them up to more issues and ideas they're going to have to take on and face.
It's going to be so much fun when we get all those ads all over our TV screens a year from now. We'll have to leave it there, but I imagine we'll be discussing these new races a lot over the next several months.